In this video, we're going to talk about probability, specifically the addition rule and general multiplication rule. This mini-lesson aligns with Common Core Standards S-CP.7 and S-CP.8 in the Common Core Standards for Mathematics. First, let's talk about the addition rule. The formula for the addition rule is the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. Let's take a look at how we might apply this formula in a problem. Suppose the probability that a college student takes a math course in their first semester is 67%, and the probability that they take a science course is 52%. The probability that a student takes both math and science in their first semester is 30%. What is the probability that a student takes math or science? To solve this, let's take a look at what's given in the problem. The probability that a first semester college student takes math is 67%. And here, I'll write 67% in decimal form, 0.67. The probability that a student takes science in the first semester is 52%, or 0.52. The probability that the student takes math and science, and here, instead of writing the word and, I'm using this symbol, which we use to represent the intersection of the sets math and science. The probability of math and science is equal to 30%, or 0.30. So to determine the probability of math or science, we apply our addition rule. So we say the probability of math plus the probability of science minus the probability of math and science. Notice how we're following the format of the addition rule formula. Now let's substitute our values. So we have 0.67 plus 0.52 minus 0.30, which equals 0.89. Therefore, the probability that a student takes math or science is 0.89, or 89%. We can also solve addition rule problems using a Venn diagram. When we are looking at the probabilities A and B, or probabilities A, B, and C. In this case, we have the probability of math and the probability of science. We know that the probability that a student takes math is 67%. The probability that a student takes science in their first semester is 52%. And the probability of the student taking both math and science is 30%. The best strategy for filling in probabilities on a Venn diagram is to work from the inside out. So I look at the area where we have the overlap between the circles. This represents the probability of math and science, since this is a region shared by both. So I have 30% in this overlapping region. Now the probability that a student takes math in their first semester is 67%. So in other words, this whole circle contains 67%. However, we've already accounted for 30% of that. So in order to make the circle contain 67%, I know that 37% is the area of the math circle that does not include the overlap. Similarly, for science, I know that science is 52%. 52% minus 30% gives us 22%. From here, to find the probability of math or science, we would simply add up our decimals, 0.37 plus 0.30 plus 0.22, which again equals 0.89. Now let's look at an example using the general multiplication rule. The general multiplication rule states that the probability of A and B is equal to the probability of A times the probability of B given A. Let's take a look at an example. An independent agency conducted a study of teens between the ages of 13 and 15 and found that 75% of them had an Instagram account. 57% of the teens who had an Instagram account also had a Facebook account. If a teen is selected at random, what is the probability that he or she has both Instagram and Facebook accounts? So we're looking for the probability of Instagram and Facebook, which is equal to the probability of Instagram times the probability of Facebook given Instagram. Which would be written as 0.75, since that's the probability that a teen had an Instagram account, times 0.57, since that was the conditional probability of a teen having a Facebook account, given that they also had an Instagram account. Multiplying the probabilities gives us 0.4275, or 42.75%. So this concludes our example of the addition rule and general multiplication rule. I hope you found it helpful, and we'll see you next time.